Parshas Vayeira, we learn a very important idea about Tefilah, about davening. The pasuk says in Perek Yudches, pasuk Chav Beis, that Avraham Odenu Omed Lefnei Hashem. Avram's in front of Hashem, and he starts to negotiate with Hashem about saving Sodom. Hashem is going to destroy Sodom, and Avram is negotiating. Maybe I'll find some 50 tzaddikim, maybe 40 tzaddikim, maybe then you won't do it. Again, more and more and more. Hashem says, okay, doesn't find it. Okay, back and forth and back and forth, back and forth, and it doesn't work out. This is actually the first time in the entire Torah that we find someone directly asking something from Hashem. It's the first real Tefilah. Yes, it's true that we learned about Tefilah already, like behind the scenes, back in Parshas Bereshis, that Adam had to daven that the rain should come, or appreciate that the rain should come. Meaning there's ideas of Tefilah earlier, but this is the first time explicitly in the Torah that the Torah tells us that someone requested something from Hashem. Avram requested that Sodom be spared. Rav Tzadok HaKohen writes that the first time you find something in the Torah is a paradigm. It teaches us something about that idea. So if you look at this first Tefilah in the Torah, we learn something special about Tefilah. The problem is that this Tefilah didn't work. He asked for it, and it was a rejection on the highest level. World-class disaster, literally. The world was destroyed. Sodom was destroyed, and it didn't work out. So, a very funny place to teach me about Tefilah. You want to try to motivate someone to daven. So they say, if you daven for this, it's going to come true. So, I'll explain to you why sometimes it doesn't come true. But really, Tefilah is the best way to get what you want, right? So this should have been the first time that the Torah teaches about Tefilah. Should have come in abundance afterwards. But yet, we see complete rejection. Answered Tzvi Kushelevsky, one of the great Rosh Yeshiva of our door. I had the opportunity to learn by him many, many years ago. He answered as follows. He said that just the opposite. The Torah over here is teaching us what Tefilah really is. People think that Tefilah is prayer. Prayer, if you look in the Oxford Dictionary, means to ask someone for something in order to get it, or to thank someone. That's not what Tefilah means. Tefilah, in its correct translation, like Rav Hirsch points out, and many others, Tefilah means to connect. The word palel, pei lamed lamed, means to go ahead and take certain ideas and make it part of you and connect. He says, Rav Hirsch says, it's related to the word balel. Pei lamed lamed is related to the word bet lamed lamed. Belila means when I take flour and I take water, two elements, and I mix it together to make it one, to connect the two, to make it one unit. So too, when we daven, we bring HaKadosh Baruch Hu, we bring the ideas that we believe in, and make it much more one within us. We connect to it. Tefilah is about connection. And therefore, when a person goes through his checklist of what he wants and what he needs, really what he's saying is, Hashem, look, I need someone to be healed. I need strength. I need to be healthy. The only person that can give that to me is you. I need money. The only person that can give it to me is you. I need forgiveness. It's all from you. I need to understand things. It's all from you. When we start reviewing these items, we go through our checklist, we end up connecting to Hashem in the greatest way. Our emunah, our belief in Hashem is strengthened, and we become one with Hashem. And that's what it's about, to the extent that even if we never get our Tefilah answered, it's still a successful Tefilah. It's still a successful Tefilah. Because at the end of the day, we connected to Hashem. The Gemara gives a very interesting description of what Tefilah is about, the Shemona Esrei is about. The Gemara says, the first three brachos, where we praise Hashem in Shemona Esrei, it's like a servant going to Hashem and going to his master and praising for something. Then the servant, after he praises the master, he goes ahead and he asks things for the master. And then the servant says thank you for getting what he received, what he asked for as he leaves. That's the last three brachos. When we give hoda'ah, we give thanks to Hashem. So the Mabit asks the following question. He says, I don't understand. The first part I got, you praise the master. Second part I got, you ask from the master. But the third part, that you thank him, the master now leaves, says, thank you for giving me what I asked for. You're thanking him for the experience of the middle brachos of Shemona Esrei. How many of us, by the end of Shemona Esrei, already know that whatever we asked for in the middle of Shemona Esrei came true? Because sometimes it's true, we find people checking their phones in the middle of Shemona Esrei, and some people, you have to be down l'kav zchus, right? We have to judge favorably. So why are they doing that? It's because they asked during Shemona Esrei for the market to go up. So they want to check to say thank you before they leave, to see if it went up or not. So they know that someone was sick, so they have to text the person to see if the person's feeling better. Obviously, that's the only reason they'd ever take their phone out in the middle of Shemona Esrei. But most of us don't have that opportunity to know if what we asked for was already answered. So the whole Gemara is very strange. What does it mean? We went ahead, we asked our master for certain things, and now we say, thank you for giving us, and we walk away. Doesn't make any sense. So Mabit explains, the answer is that, it's a little bit different than the Mabit, but same idea. He says that it's not that we're thanking him specifically for the item that we asked. We're thanking Hashem for a successful tefillah, a successful ask. What's a successful ask? If you feel connected to Hashem more through the asking. So when we say Modim Anachnu Lach, when we thank Hashem for everything, we're thanking Hashem, Sha'atahu Hashem Elokeinu, that you are our God. We're acknowledging you're God. It's an experience that we went through, asking all the different things that we asked Hashem for. We experience that Hashem is God. We've connected with Him on a higher level, and that is what we're walking away with, thanking Him for. The little details, did I get this, did I get that? Okay, we don't know yet if we got those things, but that wasn't the point. The goal was connecting to Hashem. And therefore the first tefillah that we have in the Torah is specifically when it wasn't answered. It wasn't given what was asked for. It was a rejection. But still there was a connection. Avram still felt a connection to Hashem through that. And in order to teach us that tefillah is not about getting what we ask for, the Torah specifically's first example of tefillah is one where Avram did not get what he received for. That perhaps answers another question that a different Achronim asked, and that is later on in the parsha, in Perek Yutes, the pasuk says, this is after Sodom already was destroyed, and the pasuk says that Avram was Omeid Fnei Hashem. Perek Yutes, pasuk Chav Zayin. Avram got up earlier, the place that he was standing. And the Gemara says that Avram woke up early to the place that he was standing, comes to teach us Ein Amida El Tefilah, Avram Davin Shachris. This is the source that Avram instituted our morning prayers, Shachris. But it's funny, this isn't the first time that Avram davened. Avram davened the whole parak ago, before Sodom was destroyed. So why do we learn the idea that Avram instituted Shachris from the second instance of Avram davening, from Vayeshkem Avraham Baboker? So perhaps the answer is as follows. Perhaps the answer is that maybe when Avraham davened the first time for Sodom to be saved, he thought that he'd be answered. He thought that the purpose of tefillah, again, no one has ever davened before, so this is the first time someone's davening. Avram thought the purpose of tefillah is to be answered. Now, that can't be the institution of tefillah, that's asking to get answered. Then all of a sudden, Avram gets rejected in the greatest way. Many of us, I'll speak for myself, if you go ahead and you put a lot of effort, Avram was negotiating with Hashem. This was serious investment of time and energy. If we'd ever work on something really hard, hoping to get a certain result, and then get rejected, so what would we do? Maybe we'd go to sleep for like an entire day. Maybe people would go into a depression. Maybe people will say, forget this Tefilah business. I asked, I didn't get answered. Forget it, I'm not doing this again. They would never do it. But what did Avram do? After Sodom is all destroyed, comes along Avram, Vayeshkem Avram Boker. He got up early. And he davened. He looked at this destroyed world. And he went ahead and he davened anyway. Even though I got rejected. Even though I didn't hit my goal. But still, I learned a lesson from that. What was the lesson that I learned? I got to do a back and forth with God. I had to have an interaction with Hashem. I connected to Hashem on a whole new level. I feel closer to Hashem because of it. And therefore Avram said, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to daven again. Because who cares that I got rejected? Who cares that I didn't get my result? I obviously see that that's not the point of Tefilah. There's an inherent goal in Tefilah just to connect to Hashem, feel closer to Him, to believe in Hashem more, to appreciate all the different things that Hashem gives us on a day-to-day basis. And one of the best sellers in the Jewish book market is books, or a book on Amunah. You put Amunah in the title of a book, is a guaranteed bestseller. That's what they told me. They said, you want to write a book on Chumash? No one's going to buy it. That's what they said. It doesn't make a difference. It's not going to go. If you put Amunah in the cover, no problem. Everyone is struggling. How can I have more Amunah? I want more Amunah. Chevra, I'm about to save you a lot of money, and I'll give you my address. You'll send me the money that I saved you, okay? You don't have to buy a book on Amunah. Just daven 3 times a day. Zehu. It's built into the system. Your Amunah is going to skyrocket if we just daven to Hashem. And we appreciate Baruch Atah. Yeah, you. I'm speaking to you, God. Not third person. Atah, you. Like Mesil Shisharm writes, says, how do you get to Yiras Hashem? He says one of the ways is that you just appreciate when you daven to Hashem, when you're talking to Him, that you actually feel like you're having a back and forth, a business transaction with God. That's what it's about, Mesil Shisharm writes. That's all we have to do. 3 times a day, we envision that we're having this incredible interaction, this incredible relationship where someone's listening to us and someone's thinking about us and taking care of us. That's what it's about. Do it again and again and again. What? Last night it didn't work out? You didn't get what you wanted? Doesn't matter. That's what we learned from Avram. Avram instituted the Shacharis after he was rejected. And he said, because it's not about getting what you want. It's about connecting and feeling close to Hashem. And that is where we learn Shacharis. A lot of times people go to sleep at night and they're sad. They don't feel they accomplished a lot that day. They feel that they ran into problems, whatever it is. The next morning is a new day. It's a new start. Forget about what happened. Start fresh. Connect to Hashem all the way in the beginning and allow yourself to have a super successful day. So we learned from here a very important lesson. First of all, of course, that Tefilah is not just about getting what we want. No one should ever feel down that they didn't get their prayers answered. That's not what it's about. Once you feel connected even a little bit, more than you did before, after a Tefilah, you have had a successful Tefilah. 100% super successful. And we learned from Avram Avinu that when we have that experience, even if we don't get what we wanted, or even if we're down and out, the real institution of Tefilah is when it's going down, when it's hard. Stone is destroyed. The world seems to be falling apart. What am I going to do now? Vayeshkem Avram Boker. You get up earlier the next day. Don't sleep late that day. Wake up earlier and start from scratch. So I'm going to beat it. I'm going to beat the system. I'm going to beat the night. I'm going to beat the darkness. I'm going to beat the difficulty. I'm going to come in fresh, start anew, and have a very extra long day because I'm going to get up earlier. Kol Boker. Someone sent me a picture of Kol Boker. He said, is this night Seder or morning or Kol Boker? There's so many people here. Baruch Hashem. Make it happen, guys. You get up early. All the successful CEOs, they all start their days at 5 o'clock in the morning. For some of you, that's late, I know. Okay. But that's what we have to do. Don't let anything ever pull us down. We have to move forward. We have to daven. We have to appreciate what Tefilah really is. It's to connect to Hashem. And Bezrat Hashem, we daven in the morning, we connect in the afternoon, we connect at night. Our whole entire lives are going to be about connecting to Hashem. And it's going to give us the fuel and the energy in order to be the most successful people that we could be. Shavua Tov.